On today's show, the Dallas Mavericks go on a 30-0 run in the fourth quarter, almost come back and make it official, but it wasn't enough. Where did it go wrong? How did it go so right for such a while? Slightly and I got you covered on today's Locked On Mavs.
I'm Luka Doncic, and this is Locked On Mavericks podcast.
Dallas Mavericks are NBA champions. Bang! Bang! It's good! And the Mavericks have won the game!
If you don't believe, you shouldn't be here.
And welcome. You are locked on to the Dallas Mavericks. My name is Nick Angstadt, media member at NBA, channel manager for Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Thanks for being part of the show. Make it Locked On Mavs your first listen today. Where the best way you can help us grow the show is to listen every day and to comment anything below. Let us know in the comment section what went right, what went wrong, what stood out to you in this game for the Dallas Mavericks. Today's episode brought to you by Gametime. Download the Gametime app. Use the code LOCKEDONNBA for $20 off your first purchase. And joining me, the post-game prodigy. Tell me, give me something. What you got for me, slightly biased?
This was one of my favorite games of the season. I honestly don't care that they lost.
Wow.
I really don't. I'm very encouraged. This is actually one of the most encouraged I've been in the last 2 to 3 weeks.
The Mavericks lose this game. They lose it 126 to 120. They go on a 30-0 run in the fourth quarter. No Kyrie, no Tim Hardaway, no Josh Green, no Maxi Kleber, no Dante Exum. That's like that's like almost a whole bench unit with Kyrie out there, like that the Mavericks were missing. And the Thunder had everybody healthy. And Luka was back. This was his first game back after the birth of his daughter. Congratulations to Luka. Dante Exum decided to not play this game as well. So I don't know. Should we question their commitments to the team?
No.
Should we question
I don't encourage this talk.
Either a father or a player. I don't know. You could go.
No. This is all Nick. I am not included in this. Take as long as you want, Dante.
And this is a game where the Mavs played Dexter Dennis in the first quarter. I had a fan come up to me at halftime and say, "Hey, man, huge fan. Listen to your show all the time. Love the Dallas Mavericks." And then he leaned into me and he said, "I don't know who Dennis is." But it felt like it was going to be one of those games, right, where the OKC just kept pounding threes. I mean, they were shooting the ball so well early on. I mean, I wrote at a certain point, at the end of the third quarter, OKC was shooting 18 of 35, 51%. And Dallas was shooting just 30% at that point. Like, that was the difference. And I was getting ready to come on the show. I started, like, the graphics and everything, and I started writing everything up and being like, well, it was just the threes that were the big difference. But you were super encouraged by this win. How did it end up being a win or a loss that you were encouraged by and not a super, like, devastating blowout loss?
Well, even when the Mavs were down by 20, it didn't really faze me that much because, like you said, the Thunder just could not miss. I mean, Bertans,
crazy.
15 points on 3 shots. And I genuinely think that if you added up every other game he's played this season, he hasn't played that much. I don't know if he scored 15 points. I'm being like that. I'm not even joking. I'm being dead.
Or last season.
Yeah, like I don't think he scored 15
season
points.
Before that.
Yeah, so he was just going crazy. They obviously, they said, hey, we're going to leave Josh Giddey wide open every single time down the floor. And I don't think he's a good basketball player. And I'm happy I can now say that with all the things around him and just not get yelled at because it's like, oh, you're going to defend Josh Giddey. But anyways, they left Jalen Williams open. And Jalen Williams was shooting like 20-something.
Yeah.
Jay Will. He was shooting like 20-something% from 3. He's 4 or 5 tonight. So, they were just unconscious from 3. The Mavericks just couldn't hit threes. They were getting great looks because Luka was getting doubled and tripled every time down the floor almost. And I was just like, whatever. I loved what I saw from Lively. I loved what I saw from Luka.
Yeah.
And then that fourth quarter, man, that just changed everything for me. Now it's like a win that I think you build stuff off of.
Or a loss. I was gonna say we have to keep checking ourselves because it was a loss. But if I don't know, a lot of people, they don't believe in moral victories, don't believe in like moral victory losses and things like that. But this is one where I log into Twitter in at that third quarter, and you just see all the complaining about all the things we've seen, right? And things we've complained about and things that you in the comment section are probably complaining about all the time too. And you're just like, man, can they just shut him up? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, you want to come on, and I don't want to just be Jason Kidd's mouthpiece and say, all right, let's just say something positive. But you wanted them to just, all right, just show us something, right? Show us something and show us fight, because there's the joke on Twitter now about how a player has shame when they start to play well or show effort when they're down big. Like, oh, Josh Green has shame. Oh, Kyrie has shame. And you're like, just show us shame. Like, actually just show us that. Like, show us some fight in this. And that's exactly what they showed in this fourth quarter. And I think the big change in the fourth quarter, so they go on this 30-0 run. The big change they made was the Mavs started doubling on the ball. And the Mavs started doubling on the ball with SGA. And then it's not just to double on the ball. It's that everybody else behind you, like all the wings, Luka, it was Luka, AJ Lawson, Omax, Seth Curry when he came back in, all those guys, all the wings and guards, they have to fly around and catch on rotations. Like they have to be right back to where the player that they were supposed to be guarding or the open player off of the double. And they did that and they flew around. And then OKC's 3-point shooting luck shifted, right? It was 50% to 30% at the end of the third quarter. And then by the end of the game, it's 45 to 36. So it just it shifted just a little bit. And that shift allowed the Mavericks just to come back, and they were making all the right plays off of Luka being doubled, like you mentioned. And I mean, that was the big change I saw in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, no, like you said, they doubled Shea every time down the floor. And man, the rotations, and this is what I've been kind of getting at when I'm like, the Mavericks have personnel problems defensively, but you watch the games and the rotations are really lazy sometimes. They don't make them, they don't talk. This fourth quarter, they were flying. I mean, it was like reminiscent to how this Mavs team played 2 years ago when Dorian was the captain of the defense, and they would just fly around the floor. Like they were at a size disadvantage, but they didn't have like great individual defenders, but they were just everywhere. And that was just really impressive for a five that I guarantee you, that group of five has never even practiced together.
I know
in a lineup, and it was just really good to see that chemistry. And then, I take a lot away from that. And the moral victory thing, when it comes to like NFL teams, there's no such thing as a moral victory. You play 17 games, you need to win all of them. Like
not enough games for moral.
There's not enough games in an 82 game season in early December. You could take stuff away from a loss, especially in a loss where I'm sure we're going to talk about Dereck Lively in a second. A loss where like Lively really looks like he figured some legit stuff out.
Yes, for sure. He learns so fast. Like I did a watch back. So on Subtext, if you subscribe to Subtext, you get text straight to your phone. And I do a watch back. Like I'll watch a quarter and you'll see me in the little corner and I'll pause stuff and I'll point stuff out. And like we watched a quarter of the Rockets game of Lively guarding Şengün. And there's like 3 possessions in that fourth quarter that I watched where Lively was guarding behind Şengün on the elbow. 3 in a row where like one time he tried to like catch the pass beforehand and bat the pass away. And Şengün got the ball immediately and spun around him and scored. And then the next one, he like shifted a little bit more. So he wasn't trying to get the ball completely, but then still his weight was too much on Şengün's right side. And Şengün still spun around him and scored. And then like the third one, he was square right behind him. So when Şengün tried to spin, he went right into Lively's chest. And it was like, he just learned, like, it's things like that. It's things like, when's the last time you've seen him commit an offensive foul on a moving screen, right? There's like 3 in the Orlando game, and I don't know if we've seen any since. Yeah. He learns so fast. Like, he picks up stuff so quick like that. And in this game, I think what you were alluding to was Luka's doubled, get the ball at the free throw line, one dribble to the basket and score, right? Like he did that, 3 or 4 times in this game. And I don't know if we've never seen him take the one dribble. We've seen him like turn and dunk, but we've never seen him do the one dribble thing. And he did it 3 or 4 times, and it was super effective.
Yeah, and I don't know if you saw it because you were at the game, but on the broadcast, like at the end of the half, you saw, I don't remember what the exact play was, but I think Lively passed out of a short roll, and Luka was like telling him to dunk it. Luka was telling him to go up with it. And in the second half, it felt like every single time he got the ball in the short roll, he was going up with it on a size mismatch. And he went 9 of 9 from the field. So,
well, and OKC played small. Why do you think they didn't really play Chet? It felt like a whole lot in that fourth quarter.
Yeah, I mean,
he played 10 minutes. Never mind. I was mistaken. It felt like in that run he was not out there.
Yeah, no. The Mavericks just putting him out in isolation, I think. I mean, I don't know. I'd have to go back. My brain was just so going crazy in that game. But Chet had some great defensive plays down the stretch. I'll give him that. But man, what an incredible game.
God, it was. Did we see the run? Did we see anything from Lawson or Omax? Because they were part of this. Is it just that they were the energy guys? Because we talk a lot about how this defense is effort. Every Mavericks player, I feel like, has told me, it's just effort. Grant has told me that. Maxey has told me that. Omax has told me that. Jason Kidd has told me that. Like, it's effort. This defense is all about effort. And was it just that those young guys had the effort? Was that it?
I think AJ Lawson definitely brought the effort, and he was knocking down threes off these Luka doubles. And I think it's kind of interesting that, I don't know if AJ Lawson isn't big enough to slot in and be like a legit wing for the Mavs, but could he maybe light a fire under?
He's the same size as Josh Green.
I was just about to say, could he maybe light a fire under another similar-esque type of player? Just to be like, hey, there's a guy who
get his ass.
There's a guy who's showing us quite a bit in some of these games now, or I guess just one of these games. So it's time
in one segment of one quarter of one game. Hey, maybe I don't know.
Hey, he was a +9 tonight. And then Omax, the game just still feels a little fast for Omax. But yes, defensively, the energy is there, and he's got a lot of size and length that the Mavericks need.
Yeah, and he gets to the free throw line, which I really like, and I'll continue to point out about him. All right, coming up, let's talk about who else stood out to us, who else stood out in this game. Let's talk about Luka, because Luka's is a madman and a psycho, and I want to explain why. And we'll talk about that and more coming up. Today's episode brought to you by FanDuel. FanDuel Sportsbook has all kinds of props and odds and lines that you can check out right now if you put down $5 on any money line. So let's say you put down the money line on the Thunder in this game, and then the Thunder win the game. You get $150 in bonus bets. Go check out FanDuel. See what's available for you. They have stuff like Luka for MVP. I'm sure you can put more money down on because I think he inched his way a little bit closer to that in this one. You can put money down on futures. You can put money down still in the NFL and all that kind of stuff. Again, check out FanDuel.com/LockedOn. See what's available for you and see what you got. There's different parlays and stuff. You can combine different things. That stuff is pretty fun on FanDuel. Again, check it out before gambling becomes legal in Texas. If Mark Cuban gets his wish, check out FanDuel.com/LockedOn. Thanks, everybody, for hanging out with us on Locked On Mavs, being part of the show, part of the Raccoon Squad. I'm here live at the AAC, by the way. My audio sounds different. The video looks different. This is not a green screen. I'm literally here. There's people tearing down.
Yep.
There's people doing live hits, all that. Check it out. Subscribe to the subtext if you want to support the show a little bit more. And click the link in the description or text the number. That's where you get those film reviews and things like that. All right, slightly. Luka Doncic, madman. Just an insane psychopath. 36 points. 15 rebounds, 18 assists. He had 7 turnovers, but 18 assists to 7 turnovers is still like a pretty good assist to turnover ratio.
That's really good.
Still pretty good. 9 of 14 for the free throw line, hit 5 of his 13 threes, and he had 2 steals. One of them was huge at the end where he was guarding Chet on the block, and he just tapped the ball away from Chet, and then A.J. Lawson saved the ball, and Luka hit a 3, and it was like a huge moment in this game. What did you see from Luka? Was it just his new dad strength? Is that what we saw from Luka in this one?
I wonder if, because the Mavericks, when was that game against the Rockets? That was Tuesday?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
So this has been 3 days off now for Luka? I mean, I don't know how much sleep he actually got last night.
I was going to say, how many days
he was, but
yeah.
I wonder if that little break did wonders for him because man, he just looked incredible tonight. Doubled every single time. And like genuinely, if you didn't watch the game, he crossed half court and there was another defender there and he was getting trapped at half court, in some plays in front of half court. So the fact that he dropped 36 is absolutely incredible. Anytime he didn't get doubled or the Thunder's trap was a little bit weak and he was able to dribble around it, he was scoring. It felt like every single time or going to the free throw line, and he made the right pass. Even some of these turnovers were just incredible. You know, the Thunder, if they put that much ball pressure on you, I mean, they're going to get some turnovers. It's going to happen. And some of the turnovers were just really nice plays by the Thunder. But 18 assists, could have been more. And I don't even know how many hockey assists. I mean, just an unbelievable display from Luka. Incredible. His
ability to just, like, a lot of it was just the double team and him making the right play. Like, we've seen games this season where he gets doubled and then he doesn't. He can't make the right play. They double really well, but it felt like the Thunder were like hedging on some of these doubles sometime, gave him just enough time to get the ball out, but they still, the Mavs still had a man advantage because of the player. You just go through this run. Like, this run is Luka. Like, you try to give other players credit. Like, we talked about Lawson, we talked about Omax and Lively, but like this run started. The run actually kind of started. I think the run started with Luka guarding Chet in the post, where he pokes the ball away from him, which I knew Luka was going to poke the ball away from him. As soon as Chet started backing down Luka in the post, I was like, oh, there's no way. Like, Luka has this. He's going to poke this ball away, or he's going to get strip the ball in some way. So he does that. Luka hits the 3. OKC calls a timeout. The OKC's only up by 13 at this point. And then here's the next couple possessions after that. Luka doubled. Kicks to Dereck Lively, dribble, layup. Luka doubled, kick over to Curry, 3. Curry draws the charge. Luka drive, no look pass to Curry for a 3.
That was insane.
Luka to Derrick Jones Jr. for a 3 off of a double team. Luka up to Lively off a double team. Like, it's just literally Luka after Luka after Luka, just picking them apart with his passing. And like, you can talk about Luka and his issues, and we've talked about his issues and his his failings, like where he needs to be better and all that. But like, this is where Luka Doncic is great. He can beat you with scoring. He can beat you getting to the rim, posting up, mid-range. He can beat you on a step back 3 if it's falling. And then he can beat you with these passes because, I mean, he's second best passer in the NBA behind Jokic. And I don't know, there's a case that Luka is better than Jokic, and definitely on some nights. And this is one of those nights
in the mix.
He's just that good. And this is why you like, if you don't believe you shouldn't be here, kind of deal with Luka, because there's never a game where you're like, okay, they can't win this game, because Luka could just come and pick you apart, and they can come back in a game like this.
Well, that's it. I mean, the criticisms about Luka are never his on-court skill ever. It's literally just energy and effort level. Yeah, and it's, I mean, when like tonight when he's just so hype, and he's the entire game, even when they're down, Luka's been much better this season at it. He just has been. This is a game in years past where he's getting doubled and tripled every single time.
Yeah.
He's missing 5 guys. They're down by 30 points. This is a game where in years past, Luka could get frustrated and just completely check out or get ejected or something. But especially a game against Lou Dort, who has historically defended him pretty decently.
Yeah.
And been physical. But no, tonight, I mean, just throughout the entire game, even when they were down big, he's you could just tell he's incredibly locked in. He's trying, he's hustling. He's getting beat on defense every now and again, and there's still some like off-ball defensive
everyone
stuff.
Does.
But everyone does. He plays 46 minutes, so you can't even like
the entire second half.
Right? Like, he's gonna get beat on defense. I saw somebody like was talking about that J-Dub layup where he just blows past Luka. It's like, dude, like you could tell the Mavericks as a team just lost their legs in the final 2 to 3 minutes of the game.
Yeah,
and that includes Luka. But just incredible display.
He's insane, man. Like, even without Kyrie, like, we got to remind people, without Kyrie, without Tim Hardaway, without Dante Exum, without Maxey, without Josh Green, like a whole like middle of their rotation was taken out because of injuries for this game. And when Kidd was playing Dexter Dennis in the first quarter, I thought this game was just going to be they're going to try stuff. They'll experiment, and they'll have some runs here and there, but it'll be a 15, 20-point loss to the Thunder, because this Thunder team is very good. Like, take away from this, we had to do this with the Rockets like earlier this week, and we're going to do it again with this Thunder team. Like, they're very good. This is a very good Thunder team. SGA is All-NBA. Chet has been like a fringe all-star type player like this season because his defense is that good. He's been really good on offense. Jalen Williams has been like, not necessarily this season a fringe all-star, but like you could see he's trending in that direction where he could be an all-star because he's really good. Jalen Williams, the one that doesn't look like Brunson. I think that's how we should differentiate between the two on this.
That's a good one.
The one that does look like Brunson and the one that doesn't. And like, they just have a really good team. I think they're really well coached too. Mark Dagnall walked by me in the pregame, and you just would never think that guy is an NBA coach. Like, he just doesn't look like one.
Those are always the best ones.
There's nothing about him that screams NBA coach to me. I think if he was walking around, even if he walked around, I feel like downtown OKC, I don't know how many people would recognize him, right?
Yeah, that's true.
But I think they're well coached. Like, they're really deep too. I mean, Davis Bertans, they got in a salary dump, and he's hitting threes for them, and they're doing stuff like their stuff just works. And so this is why I think Slightly and I take some promise out of this game, because you're coming back against a good team. You're not just beating like, some team that beats themselves all the time, or the Warriors that get a lot of turnovers and all of a sudden they're out of games in certain situations. But so I would take a lot of good things out of this game for sure.
Yeah, the Thunder are like right on the verge of being contenders. Like, you could maybe even talk some people into thinking they're contenders right this second, because they play defense very well. They're, I think, top 3 in half-court offense and half-court defense. Like, that's an incredible statistic. And we're like decent enough into the season where it kind of feels like that could hold maybe over the course of a season. So
they were top 6. They were 6th in offense and 5th in defense overall coming into this game. So I mean,
that's crazy.
That's title contender status. If you're top 5 in both of those, like, you are honestly, like, if you're top 5 in both, you're the favorite over the last couple of years. Like, you have been. If you're top 10, you like can be a title contender at a certain point, even though it's kind of been, that trend has been changed a little bit with the Nuggets not being as good of a defense last year. But anyway, Seth Curry stepped into the starting lineup instead of Kyrie. Lauren Gunn was on this show a couple weeks ago and was like, "Hey, can we see some more Seth Curry? Can we just see it? I want to see a little more Seth Curry." And I was like, I don't know. He doesn't have enough size. Just doesn't seem like it's going to work. And dang it if she was right, because Seth Curry was really good, and he's been good now 2 games in a row. He didn't shoot the ball terribly well from 2 for sure. He missed all of his 2-point shots, but 12 points, 4 of 9 from 3, hit a couple of them in that run that I mentioned before. His spacing, and like, he doesn't get destroyed on defense, which is really important for this Mavericks team.
Yeah, no. And he's, again, a smart player with the ball in his hands who can do a bunch of different things, create for himself if needed, attack closeouts, pass. Those are important players to have on the team. And yeah, I think especially in a night like tonight where you're missing Kyrie, Dante Exum, Tim Hardaway Jr., and Josh Green. Those are 4 guys offensively who you could be like, all right, he's got the ball in his hands. Like, something might happen. Maybe not Josh Green at this point, but you need a guy like Seth Curry to step up.
And that's sad.
I'm just saying that to cover my ass in the comments when people are like, no, Josh Green's actually horrible. Like, okay, you get where I'm coming from. But yeah, Seth Curry stepped up, and then also too, I mean, when the guy that you really wanted to step up hasn't stepped up much at all this season, having a guy like Seth Curry is really nice.
Are you talking about Jaden Hardy?
Yeah.
We'll talk about him in a minute. We're staying on some of the positives. By the way, they're cleaning up, and can you see this? There's a trash can full of brooms over there. And I just want to know if Taylor Swift is in it. Like, that's all I want to know right now. Have you seen that video of her? Like, they take her in a janitor's cart, like a fake janitor's cart with brooms sticking out of it. And they wheel that to the stage, and then she gets out of it, and that's how she gets to the stage. And now every time I see a weird thing full of cleaning supplies, I'm like, is there a famous person in there?
Just in Dallas hanging out, watching the Mavs Thunder game, just bored. God, that sounds like good hoops. I need to go see that.
She is a hoops head. We know that for sure. Yeah. She's a league pass fiend. Yeah. Derrick Jones Jr., got to give him a ton of credit too. 24 points in this one, hit 6 of 12 threes. In the beginning of this game, Luka and Derrick Jones were the only ones hitting threes, which I don't think we would have thought that about a team employing Grant Williams, Seth Curry, Jaden Hardy, even Omax, I guess. You would not think that Derrick Jones Jr. was the only one hitting threes on that squad.
Yeah, and it's similar to how like the Mavericks were leaving Giddey open and like Jay Will open. The Thunder were clearly like, all right, if Derrick Jones Jr. shoots an open 3, we're okay with that. And he was making him pay. That's exactly what he has to do, and he's been doing it.
Yeah, he was good in hitting those threes, and he's been real confident, man. Like,
yeah.
To see the difference between him when he first came to Dallas and now his ability to just take those 3, like, he's taking some contested threes now, which we did not see before, or at least when he first started with the Mavericks, because his 3-point shot takes a little while. He has one of those shots that feels like it goes on a diagonal when you watch it. Like, when you watch him in warmups, he takes the ball from his right side, and it feels like the way he throws it goes on a diagonal. I don't know how to explain it. LaMelo has a shot like this. Lonzo has a kind of a shot like that a little, but that shot takes a while to get through the whole motion, and I never thought that he would be a guy to take a contested 3 at a certain point, and now he is. I mean, he's taken those, and he's been confident. He took 12 threes in this game. How many times has he taken 12 threes? There's no way he's taken 12 threes.
There's absolutely no way he's ever done that in his career.
Because I don't know that a team would like trust him to do that before. But man, hey, a message to incoming free agents, a message to any player out there that has a broke shot, that has a shot that a team doesn't trust, but you do. Come to the Dallas Mavericks, because Luka will change your life.
Okay, that was his career high in 3-point attempts and makes by a comfortable margin. It was 9 before this.
Yeah, he did 9
before this, and 4 makes was his highest before this as well.
Well, he did 9 once with the Mavericks, and he did 9 with the Heat in 2020.
Yeah,
he did 8 in 2021 with Portland. I forgot he played for Portland.
Yeah.
But yeah, very comfortable margin, like you said. But man, he's just been a revelation. And I thought his defense on SGA was pretty good. Like, SGA didn't kill him. He had 17 points. He had 5 steals, which was huge. But like, SGA didn't mid-range him to death, which I thought that he would do over and over again, because we've seen it in the past.
No, the Mavericks honestly did good against the entire Thunder starting 5, really. I mean, as good as you could hope. It was really, especially when the Thunder built that big lead, it was their bench that was just destroying the Mavericks with their threes. But yeah, another thing too with Derrick Jones Jr. and the confidence to attack closeouts and go up strong at the rim. That's big for him as well. If he can do those 2 things, that's literally all he has to do on offense. He does not need to do anything else. That's it.
And I think that's one of the reasons why he was so excited to come to Dallas. Like, when we talked to him at Media Day, he was like, I'm finally here. We're like,
Yeah.
what makes you so excited to be here in Dallas? Like, hey, I'm ready to do this role. Like, he was supposed to get traded in that Heat, Kelly Olynyk, Derrick Jones Jr. trade that will live in infamy as a
Just
man.
weird.
What a weird what if that happened at a certain point.
What is
because
that?
they're still because they're still playing and Dragic isn't, which that's a weird whole other thing too.
Yeah.
We cannot end. Well, we talked about Lively a little bit. We cannot end without talking about how good Lively. 7 block shots. Is that right? Am I reading this right?
Honest to God, I think he could have probably had 9. Like there was some like score decision things where it's like, I think Lively got a finger on that. And they don't give it to him. He was unbelievable.
20 points, 16 boards, 7 block shots.
9 of 9.
2 fouls only. 2 fouls playing against SGA.
39 minutes.
Jalen Williams, Chet, like all that. I sent to the subtexters. I'm okay. I've done several things where I've looked at the camera and made apologies and made requests and things in this episode. And this will be my next one. Subtexters. I told you before the game, Dereck Lively was going to have a rough night because I thought he was going to guard Chet. And I thought that he was going to have a really hard time because he's really struggled to guard driving bigs. The Mavericks took that completely away. And Dereck Lively was incredible. And he completely outplayed Chet, who I said was a fringe all-star at the beginning of this episode. So I apologize to you. I've given you faulty information. Okay. Lively was freaking good, man. And I think it was our friend Mavs Highlights that tweeted, man, last couple of games, Lively's looked like a 19-year-old, and that really stinks. And boy, did he just completely punch him in the face and say, no, I am really freaking good.
Dude, okay. Plus 12 in 39 minutes in a loss is insane. Like, if that doesn't show you the impact that this 19-year-old kid has on the team, that is incredible. But I got to say, so 2 incredibly hyped rookie bigs. Lively's played both of them, has outplayed both of them.
Do it. Say it.
Well, I'm not going to say that he's better. But I will say, though, he's a dog. You can just tell. He gets up.
Do the
for
X-ray.
This. He likes it. Woof. A bit deeper than that.
I was going to say.
Yeah. He's more of like a schnauzer.
Hey, I have a schnauzer at home.
Hey, they can be mean. That's what I'm saying. The big dogs are usually nice. Like, we need to start like calling people chihuahuas because they're like mean and they get at you and they'll bite you. And they look nice.
He's got that dog in him for sure. And like he has outplayed both of them head to head, and he wants these matchups. And he's gotten outplayed by, Şengün and Jokic and like those guys for sure. But I mean, he's outplayed these 2 rookies, and man, it's been awesome. He's everything the Mavericks wanted in a center. I can't say that enough. The point that I keep coming back to, that I'm just going to say every time, he is so helpful on offense when the Mavericks get stuck. Either they pick up their dribble or they need like an inbounds pass to go to somebody, and they just can't find anyone, and they just lob it up to him.
Yeah.
And he's not even at the rim or anything. He's just around and guarded by one person. He could just catch the ball. I think they did that 3 or 4 times in this game, but it keeps being effective, and that will never show up on any box score. But man, he was so good.
7 blocks, man. Jeez. There's no way a Maverick center's ever had this box score. Just no chance.
Oh my gosh.
20
if
points, 15
rebounds. If I was at home, I could look it up, but I'm here at the arena with arena Wi-Fi.
I'll look it up when we get off. There's just literally no way. I mean, 20, like you just type in 20 points, 15 rebounds, 7 blocks on 100%. Literally no way. That might have never happened in NBA history for a rookie center.
Wow. Look it up.
That's
Let us know in the
stuff.
comment section if it is. Man. So Dereck Lively's so good. He's just good at things that centers need to be good at, right? He took the advice that I gave him before. I think he may have gone to even a climbing gym and worked on his hand strength because he didn't have many balls like tapped away from him like he did last game. It felt like last game against the Grizzlies, he had like 4 or 5 balls just tapped away from his hands. When he had the rebound and they just smashed it away.
Whole team
that
had
didn't happen.
Butterfingers last night. It was weird.
An awful game.
What a great post game show to miss. I really knocked that one out of the park.
Yeah, if you're gonna miss one of these, do this one, but not do the one before. I really enjoyed Leon Bridges. He was great. Like he was incredible.
I never listened to his music, but man, he's got a lot of swagger. I like that. He's a cool guy.
He was great. I love that kind of like blues. Like give me some crazy guitars, and yeah, I'm in.
Don't like the court.
You don't like the court with the guitars in the lane?
Somebody pointed out on Twitter it looked like a Squidward silhouette, and I just it has not escaped my mind since then. I see it and I'm like, wow, that really does kind of look like Squidward.
I just saw Dexter Dennis. You think I should go ask him what he thinks about do you think this looks like a Squidward?
You should tell him that story. That was actually pretty funny. You think you'd find that funny?
Looks like with the guy that didn't know him.
Yeah.
With the fan that came up to me. Oh, that'd be funny. Oh my gosh, dude, he had a chase. I thought he was getting a chase down block. It ended up being a goaltend, but I thought for sure because I've seen some of his G League stuff, and obviously we saw him in summer league. I was like, oh, he's catching him. I was like, oh, he's catching this, and it was a goaltend. But should we end with?
Oh no, go ahead. I didn't have anything important.
Should we end with Hardy? I'm kind of a down note a little.
I mean, there's not really much to say. It's just the flashes you'd want to see are not there. Like he's still super young and plenty of time to grow as a player, obviously. And we saw his rookie season, the flashes, but they just haven't been there. And I'm wondering if his 3-point shot's not going down at all. And I'm wondering if he's just really overcompensating to like try and impact the game outside of his shot. And that's leading to bad decisions and bad shots that he probably shouldn't be taking. But, long season, second-year kid, young.
Yeah, you forget it's his second year because I keep thinking that it's his third or something because he was in the G League and then he was in the G League at the beginning of last year and then he was on the Mavericks at the end of last year. So you kind of feel like that's 3 seasons sometimes in my head. But yeah, this is only his second season. And yeah, you haven't really seen the flashes yet, but he hasn't played that often either. We've seen him play really well in that Bulls game where Kid closed with him. And then now he's had these 2 opportunities where he really could get some minutes. But these have been really the only opportunities. I guess Kyrie's missed a couple of other games he could have had some opportunity in, but yeah. So we haven't really seen flashes from Hardy. It did feel like he was overcompensating, and he had some awful turnovers in that third quarter because this run in the fourth quarter could have happened earlier.
Yeah.
The Mavericks
got it down to 9.
Yeah, they cut it to 9 with what? It was 3 minutes left, and then I just wrote disaster of the last 3 minutes because the OKC went on a 17-3 stretch, and part of that was because Hardy was making some bad turnovers, and they were live ball turnovers, which turns immediately into other points for the Thunder.
Yeah.
But there you go. Let us know in the comment section what stood out to you about this game. Why do you think the Mavericks almost won it? Why do you think they lost it? Let us know. Anything like that. Also, like the video. The last couple of videos, we've gotten more comments than likes, and I don't think YouTube looks at that fondly. So we need more likes for the algorithm.
What are you doing? How do you comment but not like?
Because I've been asking people to comment for years. I blame myself. I've just been like, comment below because I wanted to make it like a message board, which it's basically become. But now they've gone too far where the comments have taken over and the likes are not following it. So anyway, there you go. And subscribe to the podcast. Listens on the podcast always count. We love all of them, and we appreciate each and every one of you. Guys, thanks so much for listening to Locked On Mavs. Peace out. Boom!